Okay, welcome. This class is going to be about 30 minutes long. It's going to be directed or geared towards those of you that are runners, and I know certainly lots of you that do attend the studio do also have a running practice as well. So when you're running, and I used to be a runner myself, or a decathlete myself, which certainly involves a lot of running, there's a lot of compression in your lower back and certainly in your hips and your knees. So there's a lot of compression. So most of the practice today is going to be lying down or on all fours, just to ease those areas, not to kind of pile on or compound that, that circumstance that's been brought on by running. Running is absolutely amazing from a cardiovascular perspective, but from a muscular skeletal perspective, it can be challenging for the body. So we'll be looking today to kind of ease or release these areas that we do find a lot of compression from running. The other thing with running is that it moves in basically two directions. You're moving your arms forward and back, you're moving your legs forward and back, but your shoulders, your hips, they have a whole lot more range of motion that they can certainly move through. So we'll be moving through range of motion that is outside of certainly the running gait, but very important for overall health of the body. So we'll be doing those two things as well. In addition to releasing the compression, we'll be also moving through a wider range of motion in our joints than we otherwise would in a running stride. We'll start on our backs. We'll be there for about probably 10 minutes or so before getting to all fours and then coming back onto our back. So if it makes you more comfortable to either have a blanket or something a little softer than just the mat, you can take a moment to do that and then come onto your back. We'll start as we would in all practices. We'll just start with a moment of relaxation, and then we'll move through some movements that explore range of motion. And generally, you'll have greater range to move through when your body's not supporting weight, hence our reclined position. So if it's comfortable for you to start pretty much in Shavasana, extend your legs forward. If you'd like, you can slide a bolster underneath your knees just to keep your knees passively bent and maybe even a little bit more ease into your lower back from that. Take a breath in through your nose, deep breath in. Hold your breath just for a moment at the top and then open your mouth and let it go. We'll do that one more time. Breathe into your belly. Breathe into your upper torso. Take a moment of pause at the top of your in-breath and then open your mouth and let it go. And soften your lips together. Keep your teeth just slightly parted behind you. Breathe in and out through your nose. Now bend your knees and take your feet a little closer to your bum. And then from here, rock your knees from side to side. Couple the movement of your knees with the turn of your head in the opposite direction your knees go. And whatever pace of movement feels right for you, just take that pace. And if there's any pauses in the movement that you'd like just to experience and breathe a breath, maybe two into, in stillness, you're invited to do that. Time your knees point up towards the ceiling, extend your left leg up. So we'll move through a full range of motion or knee joint here. So extend your leg forward. When your heel's very close to your bum, pull your heel back towards your bum, squeeze it there just for a moment, and then extend your leg back up and flex your quad. Do that 4 more times. Lower your heel, pull your heel back towards your bum, squeeze it in, extend your leg, and flex your quad. Just move 3 more times on your own. Now your knee joint doesn't get a lot of blood flow, so how it gets the nutrition, the substance that it needs to be healthy is through movement. Hence this wider range of movement here, since our knee isn't bearing any weight. Just that one more time, and once your left leg is extended up towards the ceiling, keep it that way, and then turn your thigh bone outwards, turn it inwards, outwards. And just stir the head of your thigh bone in the socket of your hip. And make sure that movement is coming here from your, like I said, your thigh. A couple more times, and the next time that your toes are turned out, bend your knee and cross your foot over to your right thigh. You can pull it up to mid-thigh here. Now keep your right foot on the ground and place your left hand on your inner thigh. Take a moment, just relax the muscles around your pelvis. And then push your left hand into your thigh. This can be a pressure that you just hold, a static pressure, or you can push and release. So there's some movement in your left hip here. Just for the last couple breaths, just hold the pressure. Lower your right foot. Left foot. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Same thing as you did before. Start the movement. Extend your heel forward towards the front edge of your mat. When it's almost there, pull your heel back towards your bum and squeeze it there. And then extend and flex your right quad. And just move just like you're pedaling a really giant bike, or bike crank anyway. Just keep your lower back supported in the movement as well by just bringing a gentle tone through your low back. It doesn't have to be a lot, but something where you do feel supported in that area. Next time your leg is extended upwards, start to rotate your thigh bone in and out, in and out. For me, I can barely rotate my thigh bone inwards. I'm more of an externally rotated hip guy. It's neither here nor there. It's a point of interest, I suppose. Next time your toes are pointed out, bend your knee and then cross your foot over to your left thigh. Again, just relax the muscles of your pelvis. If the muscles are engaged, they'll restrict range of motion, and here we'd like to open it up as much as possible. And in order to do that, you want to bring a relaxation and ease about these muscles. Place your right hand on your inner thigh. Push. And again, push and release. So there's a little bit of a recoil in your right thigh bone. And the next time you're pushing your right thigh forward, just hold the pressure there. Now, if you hold any tension in your face, it's probably that there's too much sensation in your body and the posture in the moment. So try to just soften away from the sensation, come back to just an ease in the features. Now lower your right foot. When your right foot comes down, just start to just rock your knees once again from side to side. And the next time your knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, you can do this either bringing one up at a time or both knees up at the same time, whatever's better for your body. And then start to move your toes, and try to move your toes independently, so move them just like you're trying to play piano with your toes. And then move them collectively, so curl your toes in, flex them really wide, curl them back in, flex them wide. And then pull your shoulders up off your mat, bring your nose towards your knees, and then point forward with your toes. Flex them back towards your shins so you feel tension in your calves and Achilles, and then do that a couple times. And then lower shoulders and the back of your head gently to your mat. Start to move your ankles clockwise, counterclockwise. And then slide your hands to your kneecaps. So your palms are right on your kneecaps and your fingertips point down towards the tops of your feet. Allow your arms to extend here. So your knees now are more or less over top of your hips. And take your hands apart, pull them your knees up. So bend your elbows, make a big circle with your knees, and then bring your knees back together. So you're making big circles with your knees, which are much smaller ones at the head of your thigh bone, where it sits in the cup of your pelvis. Go a few times in the direction you're going, and then reverse direction. And do one more. The next time your knees come together, place your feet back to the ground. And walk your feet a little closer to your bum if you can. So maybe even reach down towards your ankles and see if you can just rub the outer edge of your heel. Then push down through your feet. Lift your pelvis on your in-breath. And keep the inner edges of your feet pushing down so your knees stay over top of your ankles. You'll feel tension in the front of your thighs, in front of your pelvis, and some compression into your lower back. But we'll move in this posture as well. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Add your arms here as well. So when you breathe in, lift your arms, extend them towards the floor behind your shoulders. Exhale, bring your bum and hands back down at the same time. 3 more times. Your hands come down, hips come down. Keep your knees bent, but place the soles of your feet together to touch. So your heel pads, big and baby toe mound, all come together. Try to relax the muscles here in your inner thighs. You probably feel some tension through your inner thighs. And if it's quite a bit of tension, you can take some support. If you have blocks, just wedge them in your upper outer thighs. You can also use pillows for that same purpose. Take 5 exaggerated breaths here. So taking a little longer to breathe in, making sure your breath comes into your belly, into your upper torso, and lengthen your exhalation as much as you comfortably can, maybe to an 8 count, maybe slightly north of that if you can. Keep your awareness in that area, just around your pelvis, and see if there's a way that you can, just with that awareness, just soften. You can find there's some muscular tension or energy in your glutes. You can soften your glutes, maybe the muscles a little bit more noticeably through your inner thighs as well. 2 more breaths. Off this next breath out, and when you have, place your hands to your outer thighs. Just help your legs back together by pushing your hands back in. Now here you can either, we're coming to a seat, so you can bring your knees up into your chest and get a little momentum to come to your seat, or you can roll over to a side, push up off the side. So however you'd like to make your way there. So we'll come to all fours. Now here again, having one or both knees on the ground may not be that comfortable, so if you like, you can take a moment, just crimp your mat up, and you'll have 3 mats instead of just the one, or you can use a blanket like Karen is doing here. So now we'll start to bring weight into joints, or the force of gravity into movement here, so we'll have to have a little more core strength in supporting our body through these movements. But first, tuck your toes. Just bring a little bit more tension to the arch of your feet, and that might even wrap around into your Achilles and calves. Place your hands ahead of your shoulders and start to push your hands into your mat, so you push your bum closer towards your heels. If you're comfortable in allowing your chest and forehead to come a little closer to the ground, you might find a little more opening in your shoulders. Bring yourself up to all fours. Just move your left hand a little closer towards the midline of your mat. Step your left foot forward. And keep keep your blocks very close by here. Now push your hands into your blocks. The intention here is to bring tension into the right side of your pelvis. So push your hands into your blocks, start to lift your chest higher. The more you lift your chest and move your shoulders back, the more tension you'll likely feel in the front of your pelvis on that side. You can modify that by moving your chest forward, or as mentioned, lifting your chest up. You can take your hands off blocks and take them onto your left thigh if you'd like. The next variation, because again, shoulders are oftentimes in running, so you can take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, push your knuckles towards your back heel so you feel a tension across your chest and between your shoulders. Keep pulling your left foot back on your mat and lifting the center of your chest up. Final breath. And if you have your hands clasped, take them apart and place them on your blocks. Walk your hands back towards your right knee. They'll lengthen out your left leg, lift your toes. And here you can keep a generous bend in your knee. So here, tension in the back of your leg. But if the tension somehow comes to the back of your leg and wraps around into your jaw, there's too much. So bend your knee, soften the tension, both in the back of your leg and face if it's there. Breathe in, push your hands into your blocks, your torso a little further away from your left thigh, and then move your chest on your exhalation forward and maybe down. We'll do that 4 more times. So we keep in movement here. Inhale, exhale, exhale. Final time, breathe in and breathe out. Hold for 2 breaths here. Walk your hands forward. Put the bend into your left knee. Move your left hand to the inside of your foot. Walk your foot a little wider. And match the top of your foot, or that angle, with the angle of your thigh bone. Now here, keep your hips down. You can keep your hands on your blocks, or you can place them on the ground here. Or as Aaron's doing, you can place your forearms on blocks here. And again, movement, if you'd like to shift from side to side, shift from side to side. If you'd like, you can also tuck your back toes, and you'll find you can broaden the movement to include some hip circles. Up and down. Again, just allow the movement to be just kind of unplanned, a little more organic. Now, if your back knee is lifted, bring it slightly forward and place it down. Then allow your hips to shift back so your hips end up over top of your right knee. And you can wiggle your left foot loose, extend your left leg back, lift your hip. When you breathe out, bring your knee forward towards your shoulder, tricep, and then back down to the midline of your body. Do that 4 more times. Inhale to extend and lift. Exhale to pull your knee forward, and then back down towards the midline. Now, 1 more time. And extend your toes back. Place them in the back right corner of your mat. Now walk your hands forward and over to the top right side of your mat. Now if there's any discomfort in your shoulders here, you can always pull your upper arms back, or your forearms back, and place your elbows on the ground. Otherwise, keep your elbows lifted, keep extending through your left fingertips, and try to bring tension over into the left side of your body. Even a little lean over towards this side here. And walk your hands back, bring your left knee underneath your hip. And I'll offer 2 options here. I'll go to child's pose. But you can also move to downward facing dog. Now in child's pose, take your knees a little wider than your hips, bring your toes together behind you to touch, and move your bum back to your heels. Once again, your arms can either stay extended out in front of you, or you can wrap them either around or thread them even through your inner thighs. Come back to all fours. Once again, place your blocks. You can use them for the first posture here. Step your right foot forward this time. And wiggle your right toes a little further forward so then you can sink your hips into that same direction. So sink them forward. Pull your right foot back, push down through your hands, and lift to the center of your chest. You can place your hands on your right thigh. Or you can wrap your arms around, interlace your fingers with a different pinky finger on top. Push towards your left heel, lift up through the center of your chest. Final breath. And take your hands apart, place them on your blocks, and walk them back towards your left knee. And lengthen out your right leg, lift your toes. Breathe in, we'll move again in and out of this pose before holding for a couple breaths. Breathe in to create a little more space away from your right thigh, and breathe out to close that gap. Inhale. Exhale. Last time to pulse away from your right thigh. This time hold. Walk your hands forward. Bend your right knee. Just place your blocks to the side and your right hand to the inside of your foot. And here again, the movement can be from side to side. If you chose to lift your back knee last time, you can find a little bit more movement. And if your back knee is lifted, bring it forward, place it down, shift your hips back, and then wiggle your right foot loose until you can extend your right leg back. Lift your hip. When you breathe out, pull your knee forward towards your shoulder or tricep and then back down. 4 more times, so a total of 5. Breathe in, extend and lift. Exhale, pull your knee forward and down. And 1 more time. And when your right leg is extended, cross your toes to the back left corner of your mat. Walk your hands forward and then angle them towards the top left corner. Your hands back underneath your shoulders and your right knee forward. And as you did before, this is the last thing we'll do before coming onto our back once again. You can take child's pose or downward facing dog. then come to all fours. Keep a block very close by when you recline onto your back. Come to the middle of your mat, sweep your feet forward. Just bring your bum about the middle of your mat, keep your knees bent, and then take your arms out in front of you, and then slowly recline onto your back. And at some point, lowering your chin. It's almost going to be natural just to lower your chin so you can place yourself very deliberately and gently on your mat. Let the back of your head come to your mat and the back of your hands. Just relax your legs for the moment. Find your block, or again, the height that you're going to use. Bend your knees and walk your feet a little closer to your bum. And then place the block right in between your knees. We'll take bridge pose, one round of bridge pose. So take your palms down, push down through your feet, squeeze into the block, and lift your chest. Hug your inner shoulder blades a little closer to each other as well. Try to create a stretch in the muscles in the front of your thighs, front of your pelvis. And lower your bum. Just take the block, keep it pretty close by, but just take it to the side. Keep your right foot on the ground, knee bent. Extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. Take your hands to the back of your leg. So I like to take it closer towards my pelvis. I find if I reach up towards my calf, I start to round my shoulders forward. So just be guided by how your shoulders meet your mat. And hopefully they do. If you feel that they are not meeting your mat and your shoulders are really closing the gap in your chest or closing the space across your chest, then slide your hands just below your knee. Roll the heads of your shoulders back, so you're actually using your back muscles to open your chest muscles. And lower your left foot, and we'll switch sides. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling and take your hands closer to the middle of your right hamstring. Roll your shoulders back. If you notice you're pointing your toes up towards the ceiling, just take your toes back towards your shin. This lengthens the back of your leg. And lower your right foot. Find your block once again. Push down through your feet. Lift your pelvis just enough to slide the block underneath. I'd like you to bring your left knee back up. And this time slide your hand to the inside, or your arm to the inside of your left leg. You can either grab your ankle or the outer edge of your foot. And move your foot so the sole of it's pointing right up towards the ceiling. You can keep your right knee bent and the sole of your foot on the ground, or you can extend your leg here. And then use the strength of your back to pull your left knee a little closer towards your left side ribs. With your right hand, you can even place your right hand on the top of your right thigh and push forward there. Bring your left knee in, just hug it in just for a moment. And then let the sole of your left foot come to your mat. Bring your right knee up. And then again, angle your thigh bone out just a little so you can reach up and grab your ankle or the outer edge of your foot. And then move your shin so the sole of your foot is up towards the ceiling. Now, whatever you did with your opposite leg, if you extended your leg or kept your knee bent, just make sure you take the same variation. And then use the strength of your back. So you try to pull the back of your left shoulder towards your mat. And with your left hand, push not only down, but push forward in the upper thigh bone. Release your right foot. So now we'll move into about a 2 or 3 minute Shavasana. So option here is to keep the prop as it is and extend your legs forward and relax your legs. If there's a back bend here that just seems too deep and is not comfortable to sustain Shavasana, just take the block out from underneath and then place your bum on the ground. Take your arms out by your sides. You can play with the position of your arms, keeping them closer to your body or a little further away with your palms turned up. Create a little space in your chest by pulling your shoulder blades a little closer to each other, and then relax. And try to keep your legs heavy here as well. And in Shavasana, oftentimes, you will start to think about the next thing that you're going to do after your practice. If you notice that, try to bring yourself as consistently as you notice your mind wandering, equally as consistently, bring your awareness back to your breathing. Closer to your bum. With enough pressure, just lift your hips. Take the block out from underneath you and just place it to the side. And you can bring one knee at a time or both at the same time. Step towards your chest, towards your torso. Little rock from side to side. Shoulders can come off your mat and your nose up towards your knees. And then lower your feet back to your mat. And roll over to the side in the fetal position, just for a moment. And then push up off your side and come to a seat. And whether you take a cross-legged seat or extend your legs, whatever is best for your body. So thank you very much for taking probably 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes. And I know you runners, you're really monogamous to running, and it's a fantastic thing to do, but please do this. If you want to stay running, please do something like this that lengthens or stretches, decompresses the body, specifically the area of your lower back and hips. Once again, thank you very much, and see you soon. Namaste.